Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Got it by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
You found a way, okay? All right, now, what I tell you, okay? All right, this decade is going to be the decade of the Vols. You got me?
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, August 16th. Football is almost back.
Hearing that decade of the Vols just got my
Dude,
blood
it
flowing.
gets you every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Just want to do a shimmy or something. I don't know.
I was showing my brothers that that intro a couple weeks ago. We were playing golf, and I was like, I asked them if they had heard it yet, and they hadn't, so I played it, and then immediately stepped up and hit the best golf shot of my life. Because I was like, the end. Jeremy Pruitt is saying this is going to be the decade of the Vols. I'm just like,
Adrenaline starts pumping.
Yeah, I shouldn't be allowed. I'm surprised it's not posted as not suitable for work when it shows. But I believe it, man. I believe it's going to be the decade of the Vols.
You got to.
Now, it
That's
sucks.
the only way for it to come true, right?
It sucks that you have to start with a 10-game SEC schedule, but I guess it's better than nothing. It's better than no season at all. High school football starts back this week.
That's going to be interesting.
It is. Right now, Bearden's already canceled. I think they'll play at least one game. At least.
At least.
I think so. Maybe two, because that'll be the first week. The second week is the Knox County's first week back.
Okay.
And then
that'll be interesting when school goes back.
Yeah. And I think there's some schools across the state that could play the entire year. And I'm not saying they can't play because of COVID. I'm saying they probably won't be back in school. And Knox County released an email on Friday that said if they are virtual, there will be no sports. So, yeah, that's kind of paved the way for that cancellation. Unfortunately, it stinks, but I think we're going to get SEC football. Tomorrow, Tennessee starts fall camp. They just dropped a video right before we went live of them just painting the field, and I got chills. The practice field, not even Shield Watkins.
Yeah, it was just lines.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the spot right there.
And then you'll find out tomorrow the SEC schedule.
Yeah, tomorrow at 7 p.m.
And at 3:30 we'll know who we play week 1 on the Paul Feinbaum show.
Oh, they're releasing that. Okay.
And
nice.
then at 7
Florida.
they'll do the full.
Please, Florida. Drop them in. I'm actually curious. Who does everybody want to see us play? Drop them in the comments.
Wanted Florida at the end of the season, and I get why you think that because of last year, but I just think kick it off right. I mean, if you only get to play one game, you'd want it to be Florida, right?
that too. I just you have Florida at home this year. Tell us who you guys want to see play. I think a lot of people want to see Florida, but I think, and I'm not saying you're wrong if you want to see someone else play. But here's my argument for Florida, especially for Tennessee. It's at home. Do it at night under the lights. There'll be boats on the river still. There'll be people tailgating around campus, if not on campus. Around campus. The environment will still be the same. I guarantee you, the band's gonna still be in Neyland. They're gonna have fireworks. You're gonna have the PA system on. And if you've ever been around the football game, you can hear the PA system for miles.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night. I think it'll be an electric atmosphere. Everybody's got, so far we've got from Cool Gray here, Florida already. So I think it's got to be Florida. I think you need to want to open up with Florida.
Because I was kind of on the thing I'd like to play them later in the year too. They're from Florida. I guess you want to play them when it's colder. But I just think...
No, run it.
The way you started off last year, I don't think you'll do that this year. Jeremy Pruitt has proven he's not going to make the same mistake twice.
Right, and...
I mean, this team is going to be ready to play week 1. I believe that 100%.
Well, and if we're talking about it from a football standpoint, on what part of the season you'd want to see Florida, I think I'd want to see Florida early in the season, regardless of where we're at. I think I'd rather see them early in the season than late in the season. I think they'll be clicking by the end of the season.
I mean, and they usually play some FCS, Northwestern State Community College Catholic School is usually who they play. They're first game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be different for them too.
For sure.
I think it's if you beat Florida in November, have you really gotten over the mental hurdle? Because then you're going to be like, oh, we haven't really beat them in September.
I think. I mean, that's a good question too. I don't know. That's a good question. Jason Taylor said Tennessee is going 50-0. I don't know how that works out mathematically, but I like it.
Yeah, I've got a Florida guy on Facebook. He said he wants Florida. Florida will be at 6 p.m. That's what he said.
6 p.m. Let's go a little bit later. Let's make it
7:30.
No. Let's go the 9 p.m. kickoff like Alabama.
Yeah, we're gonna go 9 p.m. We're gonna to make up for the make up for the Pac-12.
Exactly. That was the dumbest thing ever. 9 p.m. kickoff in the SEC. 8 p.m. local time. Whoa.
Yeah, thanks.
8 p.m. is too late. 6. You're right. 6 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
8 p.m. is way too late. I think it'll be a really, really fun atmosphere week one, regardless of who you play. Make Florida the opponent, and I think the atmosphere gets outside, like around Knoxville, electric.
I agree.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think every game's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna make it fun.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a good time. I think we're gonna have to regulate the amount of people that come to the tailgates this year. I think there'll be a lot of people that last year they got up to where we'd get fined by the city.
Oh yeah.
If it was this year. So imagine where half the tailgates are shut down now because people just aren't gonna go through the hassle of putting them on. You're gonna need wristbands, guys.
Yeah, maybe we'll charge a cover or something. I don't know.
Wristbands for sure. It's an exciting time for Tennessee football. Even more so though for Tennessee basketball right now, I think, because it's the off season, and you get and what's crazy is last year we were very excited about next year. This year you have 2020 and 2021, and then a class coming in after that, and with the commitment of the best point guard in the country, Kennedy Chandler, that just added all of that excitement back. Woo.
Straight out of Memphis.
Dude, I didn't realize him and John Morant were best friends.
Yeah, apparently.
They were playing.
Also,
I found a video on YouTube of them playing pickup.
Oh, really?
In the same, yeah. It was. I can't remember who all was there.
Well, his commitment video is right out of FedEx Forum, so I'm sure they had some sort of probably before then, but with him being the Memphis point guard and him being at Briarcrest in Memphis, they probably had some one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear they have some sort of relationship. I don't know the extent of it, but I went and looked for some Kennedy Chandler highlights here. We'll pull these up right now. Whoops, maybe. He first off, Kennedy Chandler is a freak. But yeah, I found when I was looking up these, looking for the highlights to post for on this episode, it was a private run. It was him, John Morant. I can't remember who else, and it's a good crowd. Whether I don't know who they were. I didn't look up the names of the rest, and I wasn't really paying attention to faces. But it happened like a couple months ago when everything was shut down completely. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that high school seniors going in there with at least one NBA player and balling out.
Yeah, and some NBA players were kind of giving him a shout out. Trae Young was in there. Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield. John Morant, like you mentioned, there was a couple of them in that, in his video, like the live video, which was a mess. Anyway.
They ended up having to go live on his.
Yeah, so if you're gonna learn from Kennedy Chandler, don't ever go through SportsCenter Live because that guy had no clue how to use. And did you hear exactly why?
Yes,
because they didn't follow him.
Yes. What blows my mind is why SportsCenter would have their production value in that so low. I get it's not a big event, but you have all the resources at hand.
Right.
Why do you have one guy hoping he can run Instagram Live correctly?
10,000 people on your live, and you keep on losing people because you have to keep ending it because you can't figure it out.
I love it. It was hilarious. It was fun to watch. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But
nothing's ever easy.
No. But looking at Kennedy Chandler, first off, I don't know exactly what Rick Barnes. I guess just his proven track record and what he's done. I mean, what he did at Texas, obviously too, but what he's done with some of the lesser, not really lesser talent. I don't want to say that because I don't want to say that about Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams.
Not highly ranked
guys. Yeah. Maybe got the attention of some of these highly ranked guys. And it's like, if he can do that with a 3-star, what can he do with some talent that's not exactly raw?
Right.
And I mean, that's when Kenny Chandler started rattling off. He's like, I wanted to go to a program that is committed to making you excellent and hardworking, blah, blah, blah. I was like, this has got to be about Tennessee. Like, it just feels like he's talking. It feels like he is repeating something that Rick Barnes would say in a press conference. And I was like, it's got to be Tennessee. And then he pulled out the gray hat, and I was like, I don't know who that would be.
Okay.
There was no like gray team.
Right.
So that's why I was like, it could be anybody.
Right.
That was smart by him.
Yeah.
But it was, to get a guy like Kenny Chandler, especially because you're probably going to lose Jaden Springer, Keon Johnson. I mean, you're probably going to lose both of them.
Yeah.
So you've got to replace that guard position. And it's not like you have terrible guards, but not top-level guards behind them.
Yeah, I think Rick Barnes it's obvious he never wants to run in that same problem that he had last year with not having enough guards.
Correct.
So he's just going and getting these 5 stars. Kenny Chandler is the 4th 5-star in 3 classes for Rick Barnes. I mean, has anybody done that?
At Tennessee? I mean, maybe. No way, right? I don't think Bruce Pearl ever did. But
and he's the 3rd highest recruit, number 11 player in the country, number 1 point guard. He's the highest rated recruit since Barnes got here, and he is the highest point guard Tennessee has ever got a commitment from. I guess he hasn't signed yet, but
right. So still waiting on the papers.
But yeah, he's the 3rd highest ranked recruit Tennessee has in its history,
behind Tobias Harris and Scotty Hobson.
Yep.
That's some good company.
And look who you beat out to get him. UNC, Kentucky, Duke, and Memphis were all and Tennessee was all in his top 5. Some blue bloods getting whooped by old Ricky B.
Dude, I was a little. I mean, he was trending obviously towards Tennessee. He started picking up a lot more crystal balls, but still, if you've been a Vol fan, you just know it doesn't feel right until it happens. So I just was not counting on it. Good for Rick Barnes though, and good for Kim English. Got to mention his name because I believe he's the big reason for a lot of the. I mean, you talk about the last 3 years. Well, the 2 5-stars that were in the last cycle. Before that, there were none. And I'm not knocking Rob Lanier. He was obviously a great coach and a good recruiter, but Kim English has completely flipped the script since his arrival on campus.
I mean, that whole coaching staff, Schwartz has been great.
Yep.
Des Oliver's been great.
But nobody's been able to. We haven't seen the recruiting success that Tennessee's had outside of these 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they've done a bad job. I mean, I think they missed on a couple people. I think they were also aiming high. But then you add Kim English and whatever he's doing, whatever the effect he's having, you get in this last class Jaden Springer, Keon Johnson, and Corey Walker, who's a 4-star.
Yep.
And then transfer, you get AJ Anasicki.
Yeah, I think to have a great staff like that, and then to go after all this top talent, 5 stars, you're gonna have to prove something on the court. And I feel like when that team got up to number 1 in the country, it put a lot of recruits and and media on notice. Like, oh, who is this Tennessee team out of nowhere?
Yeah, and if you can go win with the talent now that you have, it should keep the ball rolling. Obviously, I mean, Rick Barnes can't be far away from retirement. So after that, then you've got to make a really key hire. I'm not saying Phil Fulmer knows all about basketball, but neither do a lot of these athletic directors that are making decisions. But what looks like one thing that's happening right now in the athletic department is you have winning attitudes.
Yep.
So I feel confident that he could hire someone with a winning attitude. And I know he didn't make the Rick Barnes hire, but he did. I guess he did the most important thing and paid him a lot of money. I need these businesses that stepped up and bought Rick Barnes another couple more years in Knoxville. I need them to do the same thing with Kim English. The man should be eating free everywhere. We can't let him go.
There's a lot of coaches on Tennessee's campus that probably needs that same treatment.
Yeah.
I think Tony Vitello is another one.
I tweeted it. Brian Niedermeyer, Tony Vitello, and Kim English. Whatever you have to do to keep them at Tennessee for the foreseeable future, you need to do it.
Absolutely.
Because none of them are getting paid that much money. But it's been very noticeable, their impact on the program. Very noticeable. And I do kind of want to talk about this Tennessee team because what's the state of the program when you get the number 1 point guard in the country? Because hopefully it should be pretty good after this season.
Yeah, I think they keep rolling in. I think they're going to keep swinging for that top tier talent, and Tennessee's going to be a blue blood. If it's not, I mean, I think they're definitely up there with them right now. But I feel like Tennessee should be competing with them night in and night out on the basketball court as well.
Right.
And not just in recruiting. But I think since this whole staff has taken over, it's just been incredible. You didn't have a single player ranked in the top 100 2 years ago, and now you have 6.
Your entire
on
class
your roster. So basically, half your roster is now top 100 players.
Yeah. And that's what you need. You talked about competing with the Blue Bloods. When you talk about recruiting, that's the noticeable difference is can you recruit with them?
Yeah.
Because Tennessee's been able to beat Kentucky for at least split games with them in a season forever because it's a rivalry game. So playing with them isn't the hard part. It's recruiting with them. That's the hard part. If you start winning though consistently, when you get to go to Kansas, if you can win that game, that makes a big difference. You're not going to beat them all in one season if you get the chance to play Kentucky, Kansas, and then if you make a deep run UNC or Duke or whoever. You're not going to beat them all, but if you can start beating some of them throughout the season, and then you're recruiting against them successfully all the time, you're going to cement your position in college basketball and how you recruit from here on out.
Yeah.
It's also going to be interesting to see about if the new G League experiment works out and what that does to recruiting.
Yeah, more players.
I guess it would. Would it change it that much, though? Because it's not like the state of college basketball was terrible and they could go straight from high school.
I think I kind of look at it to like baseball a little bit because, I mean, obviously you can go 1 year and then go to the basketball. Or if they change it where you have to go 2 or 3 years, I think that would be different. But if you can go 1 year and play college basketball, I think a lot of these kids like to have that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. And the only thing I think could change how it plays out, and it would be similar to the baseball method, is if the G League legitimately becomes a farm system for – because it's not right now.
Right.
The NCAA is your farm system. You're where you get the majority of your players.
Right.
If it starts becoming where a lot of guys are making it from the G League, then yeah, because there's not even a lot of guys that go from the NCAA to the G League, then to the NBA. The G League's usually like, once you're there, you've got to really rise above to move to the NBA.
Right.
And so until it becomes like a legit farm system, I don't think it would have a huge impact.
Yeah, because, I mean, look at baseball now. Like, the minors have always been, you can go make a little bit of money, but you could also get lost in the shuffle there, too. So,
but
now with college baseball being so much more exposure and things like that in the last 10 years or so, I think more people are opting to go and play baseball for 3 years in college and then go to the minors where you're not having to probably start in rookie ball and start at ground zero. You can probably maybe get rookie ball, maybe get AA, then AAA, and find yourself in the majors there in a couple of years.
Interesting. Never thought about it like that. Yeah, that's so who are these other 5 stars Tennessee basketball should be looking
at? So I
for?
do want to mention Kenny Chandler is I don't know if Rick Barnes is doing this kind of method where he's just getting guys that just win basketball games, but Kenny Chandler is another one of those guys that he's a winner. He's a 2-time Mr. Basketball winner in the state of Tennessee. He is transferring to Sunrise Christian Academy in Kansas this for his senior season. I think that's where he plays AAU basketball. Or there's a coaching staff
based out of Kansas.
Yeah, something like that. And then I don't know if you saw Amari Thomas in a lot of his prior crests. But Tennessee's just doing a great job of getting winners. They played in the state championship against Catholic, ended up losing that game, but a guy that has played in the top level, and he's played in the Peach Jam, and pretty much anything you can think of, he's been a part of. And then recruiting Memphis. Tennessee just got a flag just stuck in the middle of Memphis, and it's been great over the past couple of seasons. You had 5 commits in football last season.
Jeremy Pruitt, and somebody wrote about how important it is to make West Tennessee, that region, important in football, and then obviously it's going to be important in basketball moving forward. And someone talked about how he's done such a good job of keying in on that region, and I don't remember who wrote the article, but talked about all the players and the impacts they've had at Tennessee, or could have at
and
Tennessee.
It's tough to recruit there because it's 6 hours away from Knoxville, so even though it's in state, it's not really close. You can get to about half the SEC before you can get to Tennessee.
Yeah, it is a weird the way Tennessee State's laid out. It's not Atlanta to Athens. It's not Miami to. I mean, Miami Gainesville is the closest SEC school to somewhere like Miami. So it's a little bit different than a lot of these places that get to claim in-state. And obviously Tennessee, usually when they talk about in-state, they emphasize Memphis, but now it's becoming a true. They're actually able to go in there and get talent out of it.
Yep, it's been huge.
Huge.
I liked his quote in his commitment video. Did you see that? It was like, I'm still gonna rep my state, or rep my city, but play for my state.
Yeah, no, it's I'm still gonna rep my city, but now it's time to play for my state.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. See if I can find
I like that.
Yeah. So, but do we have any more 5 stars?
I think Tennessee is. We need a big man. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You need to find a big man, and I think that's where Tennessee's going to swing next. Is find somebody that maybe can do some pick and roll stuff with Kenny Chandler.
You got a name, or you gonna go vague?
No, I'm gonna go Paolo Banchero.
He
kid from Seattle, Washington. Already got a crystal ball from Tennessee. He's the number 3 player overall in the country. Power forward, 6'9", 235.
I've been saying we need a big man desperately. I mean, I know we hoped for Urosh to be very effective. I don't know. We'll see how far along Kumar can come. Corey Walker, maybe can be impactful in that way. And then you have EJ Anasicki for 1 year. He's not the biggest, but he plays big, which is good. Mm-hmm. Just to mention, Tennessee needs size.
Yep. And they're also swinging with some other ones. Jabari Smith, he's out of Tyrone, Georgia. He's a 6'10" power forward, the number 4 player in the country. And then you have Caleb Houston out of Monteverde Academy. That sounds familiar. That's where Ben Simmons and D'Angelo Russell
nice.
Went. So that's
those are all 2021 class, right?
Right. Well, Caleb Houston was a 2022
and
reclassified to 2021.
Nice.
He's a number 8 player in the country. So Tennessee's wanting to get a big guy that can move. I'd like to see some of that pick and roll stuff. It'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, when's the last time Tennessee's had a true 5?
Yeah.
Or anyone that could really play the 5? John Fulkerson?
Or, really like a big 4.
Yeah.
When's the last time they've had that?
Yeah, Grant Williams has kind of been playing against, when he played the Kentuckies, he was, playing against guys that were bigger than him.
Yeah, he's very undersized, yeah.
Which he had no problem handling it. I'm not doubting Grant Williams, but I'm sure if you ask him if he wanted, would have liked to had a couple more inches on those guys, he probably would have taken them.
Oh,
he probably wouldn't have left them behind.
100%.
So the quote was, "I will always rep my city, but I'm going to play for my state." That was the quote. I like it.
I do like that.
And Tennessee plays. We'll see. Will they renew the rivalry with Memphis after this year? They play in Nashville.
They play in Nashville this year. So yeah, that's
after the first year, you were pretty much assuming it wouldn't happen.
I love that people in Memphis are like, "Oh, Penny would have had him if he made him a priority." I'm like,
how is that an argument that a team wouldn't take a 5? Wouldn't they might have backed off of him, but not because they didn't want him.
Because you're getting whooped.
Yeah, because but also, why would you back off? You can't really back off. All you can do is Zoom calls right now.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not going to allocate time to go in and visit him, and why would you not if he lives 20 minutes away from your campus? Mm-hmm. But they didn't back off of him if they did because they didn't want him anymore. It had nothing to do with that. Yep. The number 1 point guard in the country. You were on his short list, and you were just like, "Nah,
I'm good.
You can go wherever you want. We don't care."
Right.
It's whatever. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if they renew that rivalry. I think they need to. I think it's good for. We talked to Chris Lofton, and that was his favorite game, obviously because of what happened in it. But he also was like, just because of the atmosphere. He's like, you woke up at 9 a.m. and the hotel was already going crazy, which is like a normal football Saturday for Tennessee.
Yeah.
But to have those kind of experiences for basketball, that's awesome, and Tennessee needs that.
Yeah, I got to keep that rolling.
I hope basketball stays.
I hope it does that. I hope Penny's not just like he's kind of a butthole about all that.
Rick Barnes was, when it originally all happened, I wouldn't entirely blame. I think he needs to try to, whatever needs to happen on Tennessee's end, they need to just work past it because I think the state needs it. But when it all originally went down, we know Penny just made up that bullcrap just to, I guess, protect himself for why he did what he did. And I understand not wanting to play coaches that are like that are petty like that, but it should be bigger than the coaching rivalry. Mm-hmm. Shake his hand and move on. You don't have to talk to him. You don't have to talk to him in mid-court during warm-ups.
Yep.
Just move on from it. Where are they? Are they playing in Bridgestone or Nashville? Or?
I think they are.
They are.
I think it is in Bridgestone. Dude, you watch Kenny Chandler's highlights. Fast, can get to the rim.
Very aware,
can dunk, super athletic. Yeah, can pass.
I think that's kind of the question. Like, that's a question this year. I think you assume it's probably going to be Keon Johnson or Jaden Springer bringing the ball up. Is that who we did? Keon Johnson. Who have we determined? Who have we decided?
I would say Victor Bailey.
Well, okay, yeah. But even then, you're like, do we have a true point guard? I don't know. Like, that's still kind of...
Yeah, I don't think we have a true...
With Kenny Chandler, you know who's going to be... In 2021, you know who's going to be bringing the ball to the court.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, he definitely has a lot of control and how he plays the game. Dude, his bounce is nasty. His ability to get to the rim.
His athleticism reminds me a lot of Jordan Bone. Like,
yes.
He's a more polished Jordan Bone.
Yeah, I would say... Yeah, I think that's a great...
He's a great defender, too.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison of Tennessee players. If we're going to compare them, I'd go farther than that, and you'd pick an NBA guard, I think.
Yeah, John Morant.
His ability to get to the rim,
yep.
It reminds me a lot of John Morant.
Yep.
I think a lot of people have said that, too, when you watch it. When you watch his highlights, you're like, it's easy to see if you're John Morant why you'd be like, I like this kid. He plays a lot like you. That's why you like him a lot.
Yep.
So, and then, obviously, the Memphis connection, I'm sure, helped. But...
Can't hurt.
No.
Also got some news on the football recruiting front today. Tennessee got a commitment, their first commitment out of the 2022 class, Jimmy Scott. I like that name.
Jimmy Scott. What's so 2022? You see your first commitment. You see any more soon, or is it going to be is that just a random thing that happened?
The good thing about the 2022 class is there's a lot of talent in state. Yeah. Like a lot of talent, like similar to the 2019 class.
If you see Nashville growing the way it is still, and then Knoxville's always had like random pockets of talent. I think it's getting more consistent now. I think you're going to see a lot of the in-state talent. And then you have Memphis, obviously. You're going to see a lot of the in-state talent get very, very popular amongst the country.
Yep. Yeah, so Jimmy Scott commits. He's the number 2 player in New York. Strong 3-star strong side defensive end, 6'3", 250, out of Hamburg, New York. Getting the Northeast kids. I think you can credit Joe Ossovet for that. I'm pretty sure that's his cup of tea up in the Northeast. Hey, we lock one down. And again, position of need. You can never have too many pass rushers. Never. Just like you can never have too many guards.
No, never.
Jimmy Scott, he's also got a decent, to be just a 3-star, he's got a decent offer list.
Yeah, I was scanning over that.
A couple SEC schools, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. He's got some NC State, Duke, Arizona State.
Michigan State.
Yeah,
Pitt.
Pretty good.
We throwing Pitt in there? Did you say Penn State?
Penn State has not offered yet.
Oh, yeah. Why are they on that list? I guess because they've shown interest.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I clicked on interest. That's why, not offers.
But yeah, Ossovet getting it done. I really like that guy.
I do too.
He's become one of my favorite assistant coaches on the staff.
Yeah, and he kind of got thrown into that role when who did he replace immediately? He hopped on the road overnight. Was it oh my gosh.
I don't remember either. Was it Cher?
Maybe.
Because Niedermeyer went to...
Then that's when Niedermeyer probably would have flipped to the defensive side.
Or was it Chris Rump?
It might have... One of those guys. I'm assuming it's when Niedermeyer flipped over to the defensive side. But they put him on the road, and we talked about on this show, this may be a tryout of sorts, and he's earned his keep.
Yeah.
He's earned his keep, and then some, too, I think. That's going to be a really, really important part of Jeremy Pruitt's staff is recruiting, and it should be. It's not about the Jimmies and Joe, or it's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. Recruiting doesn't always mean winning, but you cannot win without recruiting.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not gonna always translate perfectly, but if you don't do the first part, you're never gonna be able to do the second part ever, and which is winning.
Yep.
Never gonna be able to.
Gotta have him in there. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. Like, I don't think an NFL coach, I don't think he'd be unsuccessful, but it's definitely more difficult to come in and have to, like, find your talent.
Yeah, if they're not, if they don't have a ton of college football experience, it would be a learning curve.
Yep.
It would.
I think Lane Kiffin he didn't come from the NFL, but I think that was a big learning curve for him. Just all the NCAA violations and everything.
Oh, I mean, he just flat out cheated. He learned it from the best at USC. So
yeah, got to.
He's probably more fit for the. You can't cheat too much at the NFL level unless you're old Bill Belichick and filming teams. There's more there's more cheating to be done at the college football level.
The Jets or something like that.
Oh, he filmed everybody. He just got caught against the Jets and the Bengals.
Yeah, it's like two people.
You get caught against the worst teams. That's what someone said. They're like, if you were cheating against the Jets and if you got caught cheating against the Jets and the Bengals, you weren't just cheating against the Jets. And
That's a good point. Yeah, you weren't definitely.
Tailgating. It's happened. We're doing it. Even with
so
Plowman saying,
yeah. So she said no tailgating on campus, but then then they went back and said they haven't made a decision on
no. It wasn't
tailgating.
Yeah. So when she said that, and it wasn't. I'm not saying they may have walked back on it. I guess. But when she said it, they did not necessarily clarify.
Yeah.
Now when I go and read the transcript, I don't know. They may have walked back. I don't know. But she meant there's not going to be like Tennessee organized tailgates.
Right.
Like there won't be tailgating at like fraternity row because that would be, Greek life is part of school. It's a school organization. They won't be doing that.
Sure.
And, they hold those.
A lot of Circle Park.
Yeah. A lot of the Circle Park ones are organized by the university. Like those will not be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would imagine they'll say no fan tailgating on campus. So any on-campus parking lots will probably not be allowed to be tailgated in.
Yeah.
Like G10 won't be able to. Circle Park would not be able to. I would be shocked because you can't control the numbers of people in there.
No, you can't.
You can't. But we'll be tailgating.
We will.
Around campus.
Somewhere.
Not on.
Yeah, we got some stuff in the works. So yeah, just stay tuned and we'll have that out and maybe you can stop by and hang out.
Yeah, we won't
bring a mask. Bring a mask.
Just bring a mask. That's all we require. You know what we need to do? Because surely the Vol Navy's like, okay, Calhoun's, if they haven't given a crap this long, they're not going to magically give a crap during football season.
No.
So the Vol Navy will still be at Calhoun's. We need to get on a boat and do that one game.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Do a boat tailgate.
Sailgate.
Exactly. We'll do some sailgating. We've never done Vol Navy as a tailgate or anything like that. I've been on it once. I was young, so I mean we tailgated. We rode down the river and docked and then left that night. But it'd be fun. I'd love to do Vol Navy in its full experience. So if you own a boat, hit me up because I do not. Yeah. I own a boat, but it's a one-seater kayak.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that wouldn't be as much fun for you all.
Yeah, can't get many people on that.
No, we've tried, and we failed. It's not fit for everybody.
So what would be the insurance claim on that if it caught on fire?
Cheap. They'd probably pay it out. No problem. They're like, yeah, here's $100. I forgot about that boat fire.
Yeah.
Dang, it's amazing what a terrible year could make you forget. That was the day the boat caught on fire and a person in the Pride passed out.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is a bad omen. Yeah, it was a terrible omen. We got embarrassed that day. It was a Georgia State game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough. Babe, we're better off. Maybe.
It might have all worked out for the better.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
We'll see.
I'm not willing to say it for sure, but
yeah, I think tailgates happen. I don't see how you can really stop it.
You definitely can't stop them off campus,
right?
But I'd be pretty shocked if you have any on campus tailgating, because you can easily regulate those. You can block parking lots off, and there's not going to be a need for a lot of parking lots to maybe that's the thing. Maybe it'll be like certain parking lots because it sounds like they're going to try to get a percentage of fans in.
How packed is the fort going to be?
Yeah, probably so.
Ugh. I mean, it's already packed now. Imagine when you're not able to go out and go to Circle Park or G10 and stuff like that. That's going to be, ugh.
I mean, the strip better be prepared. Can Cool Beans start doing eminent domain to the parking lots around it? Just do like a massive Cool Beans tailgate.
They should do like the
Take
whole
over Papa John's. Take over Papa John's.
Yeah.
Take
It's
over.
like we're gonna buy you out for the day.
Yeah, just one day. That's all we need. And actually, that'd be a great idea. They should do a combined thing.
That is a great idea.
I mean, I'm printing money over here for you guys.
Yeah. Copyrighted, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a verbal trademark.
Yeah,
Those
trademark.
are legal in the state of Tennessee. Trying to think of some other places that'll be madhouses. The church will probably be a madhouse if they allow it.
Yep.
Just because it'll be an off-campus place they're gonna be able to tailgate.
What about World's Fair Park?
I don't know, because I don't think you could like. People might do it, but I think you'd have to like rent spaces there to do events like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You couldn't just
I
show
don't know, like,
up.
I guess you could try. They might kick you if it's like an organized thing though. They might try to kick you off,
out.
and alcohol, I'd imagine, is not allowed. I don't know. I don't know the rules.
I mean,
No clue.
I'm trying to think of some other places too. I mean, you can go to the movie theater and park on top of that.
People may be tailgating down there.
Yeah.
That's I'd want to be in sight of the stadium
Yeah.
if I'm gonna do it. Otherwise, I just want to do it at like a
Kinda
house.
close. Yeah.
If you're splitting, if you're doing that.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I don't. What do you think our percentage is at right now? How many are they gonna let in?
I think it's probably around 20,000. It's going to be interesting if. It's probably
Do you donate in the top 20%?
no. There's
this
no
year?
way. There's no way. There's no way. I'm just thinking like, so school is starting back. If it's the way that I've heard it's going, in terms of like cases and stuff like that, I just don't see people in the stadium.
Yeah. So I think I've said it.
Maybe boxes.
Yeah. I think there'll be people in the luxury suites regardless. I think I said like a month ago. I think it's just gonna be friends and family. I still think that's probably a good possibility. But the way they're talking, I think it seems like, and it could just be like a public facade to make everything feel comfortable, like because everything I've heard is public. I don't know anything more than you are. Kind of seems like they may be trying to get like a 20% in, something like that. So. And I think that's probably your high number. I think you're right. But that I think is probably like today they're thinking, yeah, it's probably as much as we could do. And then I don't, like friends and family, like how many is that? Because if each player is given 4 tickets or however many, that's like 1,000 people, which isn't a lot at all.
Right.
And then do cheerleaders and band, do they get friends and family? No, I don't know. Because that's how I've seen a lot of the high schools in the area are doing it. The kids' parents, band players, cheerleaders, all of their parents are getting the first opportunity to buy tickets, and then there's like 1,000 tickets left after that.
Yeah, it's like a season. You buy like a home season pass for $40.
Is that how?
That's how South Bowl's doing.
Okay. So
I assume that's how Knox County is doing it, but yeah.
No, that's not a Knox County thing. I've seen I think it was Carter I saw today posted about it. Like on Monday, the parents of the players and band members, all of them, on Monday they have the opportunity to buy them. After Monday it goes public and it's like the first 1,000.
Gotcha.
And then I think they have some people who are season ticket holders and they'll have their tickets each game.
And it's $8 a piece, so I'm like, what am I? I'm not saving anything if I buy that season ticket. Like it doesn't give you anything.
It never does.
Yeah.
They're just giving you the opportunity not to go to the gate, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just like, okay. I don't know. I mean, dude, I think Diamond Clear Media, dude, if they get that figured out and get some right people and just announce the games,
Yeah, no,
I mean that's a huge opportunity for them.
You're gonna have a lot of eyes on you this year, where you normally have parents who can't, grandparents who don't live in the same city watching it. Now you're gonna have a lot of people who would normally go to those games. Maybe they're not in that group of parents or whatever, that maybe they're high risk people, people who can't go to the game. So yeah, you're right. There's gonna be a lot more eyes on internet streamed games than normally.
Which is fine with me, but you never really know if like that game's going to be on Diamond Clear Media. Like there was a lot of problems last year with like the connection and everything like that. So
I watched quite a few on at least all the away games. I never had any issues. Now, most games there wasn't. It was just a stream.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't anything.
Right.
There's no one commenting, which just can be fun.
Yeah. I agree.
What's up, Big Dog? Space Mountain said 6-4 this year. I don't like that, but I got to see the schedule to tell you, because I feel like swing games can be dictated by who you play before, who you play after, maybe sometimes, and bye weeks. I want to see a schedule before I give you a
6-4. I mean, that's how mad can you be though?
That means you probably lost the 4 games you were supposed to, which is fine, but it's also upsetting. Like, what fun is it when you know you're going to lose a game?
But yeah, so I mean, that'd be Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, or Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ranked in the top 15 in the country.
I just feel like you gotta go get one of those. And the flip side,
so 6-4, you'd get one,
right?
So you get like probably Auburn or
who you beat 2
Texas
years ago,
right?
Now the theory to you got to go get one of those. You're also probably saying you may lose one of those, so that means you may lose to like a Missouri or Kentucky, who a lot of people are. Cole Kubiak is high on Kentucky.
Yeah, that's
a little too high. I understand being high on them, but I think he was maybe riding that cloud 9 a little bit.
Yeah, I think they were 5 and we were 8, but I don't think there's a huge difference.
It's not even based on our ranking in Kentucky. They were ranked above A&M. I think Auburn in his.
Yeah. So that I don't think like Auburn, Texas A&M, and Tennessee. I don't think there's a huge difference in those 3 teams.
I just don't see Kentucky being a lot better than last year. Which last year they were 8-4, something like that, in the season. Mm-hmm. It's not terrible, but I mean that's not fantastic either. I just don't see how they get better. There's not a lot of teams that lose their best player and get better.
True.
Doesn't happen often.
Yep, I agree.
Tennessee fans are talking about 98 as I say that. A lot of people, I mean, that's a lot of people's arguments. I know Kentucky will not win a national championship. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of people argued that Tennessee could not get better losing Peyton Manning. But then there are a lot of Tennessee fans who would point out to you that Al Wilson was your best player, not Peyton Manning. So, depends on how you look at it, I guess.
I mean, I'm trying to think of who they lost, maybe on defense. Because if you lose both of those, then, yeah, there's no way.
You lost Kai Stanley, didn't you?
Yeah, I think you did. So you probably did.
I don't see how you improve. I'm not saying you necessarily get worse because you did have Lynn Bowden Jr. playing quarterback, and he is not a quarterback. So I don't necessarily think you get worse. I just don't see how you get better.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you had a running game outside of Lynn Bowden Jr. He was your running game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're talking about their offensive line and their running backs. I was just like, your best running back is gone.
Yep. I don't know how it happens. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean,
but
maybe they surprise me.
Maybe, but that's the kind of the flip side of saying, you should get one of those games that you shouldn't win. It probably means you could lose a game you shouldn't. Hopefully it's not Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt's going to be bad. They're going to be worse than last year.
Hopefully it's not Arkansas either.
Or Arkansas. They're going to be bad. They should be better than they were last year. I think Vandy gets worse.
I think Missouri's bad too.
Missouri is probably not going to be very good. They are probably worse than they were last year. I still think they're better than Vanderbilt. They're probably right there with Kentucky. Probably.
Yeah, I think you got to win that. I think you got to win those 3 games. Those 3 games are for sure wins. I don't think South Carolina will be that good either.
South Carolina could be. It's got to be Will Muschamp's last year if it's a mediocre. Last year should have been his last year.
Yeah. Well, his buyout is huge.
Which is, how do you hire a coach like that and get? Tennessee did it. What am I saying?
Yeah, what I was about to say.
What am I saying? Let's jump into speaking of our misery, let's jump into our position preview. Quarterbacks.
I think the big thing with this group is you have some depth.
Yeah.
You have some experience, which I don't think, besides Garantano last year, you couldn't really say that. So I think this is a pretty deep quarterback room. I feel like it's just and who you added, and then can those guys make the next jump in their development? That's the question.
It sucks that this is a question because you have a 5th-year senior who has started for 3 years, or this will be his 3rd year starting, I guess. If he does, we'll get into that. And then you bring in a 5-star, 4-star, whatever service you want to look at.
His 4th year.
4th year starting?
He's
17,
17.
18, 19. Yeah,
Yeah.
4th year starting.
Yep.
half of 17, so however you want to call it.
Yeah.
4 years starting. You have a 4-year starter, assuming he's the starter, a 5-star quarterback, and you're going, I don't know. Just because, I mean, I've seen Harrison Bailey's stats. I've seen him play. We've read about him. I get, but I'm not willing to say it. Like, because right now he's not even, I know they haven't even started practice yet, but you can't even say he's beat out the guy in front of him yet, and the guy in front of him isn't very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get the opportunity to do that in the spring.
No. Which that is not a knock on him at all.
Right.
It just sucks that you have, and you have a guy like Brian Maurer, who a lot of people like. I think a lot of people liked him because of his energy. I'm not saying that's a bad reason to like him, but I think it wasn't necessarily his play, but his energy and I guess enthusiasm he brought to the team when he was in the game, the swagger, if you will. I've liked JT Shrout for a long time. Prior to his freshman year, I still think besides Harrison Bailey, he's the most talented quarterback on the roster. I'm not saying he's the best necessarily, but he seems to have the strongest arm. He seems the one most confident to make those throws. So I like JT Shrout. I don't know what the holdup with him is. I don't know what slowed down his development, because I thought he could have been a guy that at least was better than what his 3-star said.
Yeah, I think he's fourth to me.
I think he's fourth, but that's mainly based on what I think about people's kind of the same reason. Like, I mean, if you had JT Shrout or Brian Maurer, you're going to go Brian Maurer because of his
energy and what he gives you athletically.
The leadership.
Yeah.
But I think I'm shocked JT Shrout. I just don't know what it is with Garantano. I don't know what it is. I don't get it.
Just like him
being a starter, being the guy. I don't get it.
I think a lot of it last year was just that was a guy that you just relied on because you didn't really have anything else.
Right.
And I don't know, even the Alabama game, you remember we went down, I think we kicked a field goal with Brian Maurer quarterback. And everybody thought we moved the ball well. I think he was like 5 for 7.
It was a good drive.
And 60, 50 yards, something like that. And then they take him out and put Garantano in. So I just don't know. I don't know what it is about him either, but the staff seems to trust him more than anybody else on the roster.
Which I'm sure has a lot to do with practice. But it's like we've seen the short clip, like how much does he change in practice when the camera, like when they go to ones versus scout team, or they go ones versus ones? What changes? Because is it just that bad that he's your default? Because the throws you see against air on 7-on-7 aren't wildly impressive.
No.
Is everyone else just that bad? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, he was a huge part in that 6-game winning streak. I don't want to take that away from him.
No, he was, but
and coming off the bench is not an easy thing to do at the quarterback position. No. So I do want to give him credit for that, and I think he overcame a lot of negativity after that Alabama game. That's not easy to play again.
No. Yeah,
and for him to play again and kind of elevate where he was at the beginning of the season, that was impressive.
Yeah, it's hard to you can't discredit what he did in the 6 games to end the season, but he also was a lot of the reason you lost the first 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So
I mean, this is his opportunity to rewrite what Tennessee fans think about him.
Yeah,
he's got one of the best offensive lines in the country. And he got better last year as the offensive line got better. You had 2 starting tackles that were true freshmen.
Right.
That's not easy to come in and play those positions against SEC edge rushers.
Right.
But they improved over the course of the season, and so did he. So I think having an offensive line is going to boost his confidence. It's going to make him more comfortable in the pocket, hopefully. And you have Jim Chaney. You haven't had the same coordinator for 2 years since he's been here.
And I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the biggest difference.
You're not having to learn a different playbook. It's the same thing.
I mean, and what goes along with learning a different playbook, it's really the terminology. A lot of times where you have to look first, or what you have to do pre-snap changes drastically. I don't know what's changed between at least you've had the same head coach this will be your 3rd year.
Yep.
So I'm sure Jeremy Pruitt tried to keep some of the same principles when they went from Tyson Helton to Jim Chaney, but it's still a change, and not an easy one, especially when you consider I mean, Jim Chaney, he does have a lot of proven success, so I'm sure there was a lot of. It wasn't like, oh, let's fool around, see what works, what doesn't. It was like, no, we're gonna come in and do my way, and that I'm sure that played in a lot with it. I really want JG to be good. I do. I just don't see. I don't know how.
Yeah, I think competition is another thing as well. Is like you have to have an incredible short leash with JG this year because you have guys with experience.
Yeah,
Brian Maurer was a true freshman last year and he wasn't a highly rated guy coming out of high school. Like, yeah,
right.
Sure, he had some athletic ability, but reading a defense and everything like that, I don't think he had any clue.
No.
And I think that showed with some of his decision making last year. JT Shrout was another one who showed flashes, but the decision making just wasn't what they were looking for, and that's why they went back to JG. So hopefully they're able to take a next step. And if JG he's the same guy we see when we play Georgia State, I think take him out and put somebody else in.
You have that luxury this year, and I think you need to utilize it because I think you do have 4 competent quarterbacks on your roster. Last year, I think going into Georgia State, I would have said you maybe have 1, maybe, because I don't know. I don't know if I would have going into Georgia State. I don't know if I would have said trust Brian Maurer or JT Shrout. But
he's never really had to fight for his starting job.
No.
Besides when Dormady was here, but Dormady wasn't good either.
No, that was a bad situation.
It was. Yeah,
it was a bad situation. I've said it. I'm not gonna. I mean, he's old enough. It's not like he's like, he knows better, or he does. But he could handle the situation better. But you also, everything we know about that coaching staff, we have to assume they handled it we saw they handled it poorly on game day. We have to assume they handled it poorly behind the scenes because that would have just gone right on. It's part of the storybook.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of just been the quarterback by default since that year. I mean, they brought Keller Christ in. He wasn't even the starter at Stanford. I think he threw a decent ball, but like
he definitely wasn't. He wouldn't stand out better than JG if he was better.
No.
Space Mountain said Harrison Bailey with that top O-line and Eric Gray running back is pretty dang good. I don't disagree. I hope you're right too, because
and I think if Harrison Bailey gets a spring, I think you have a better idea of who Harrison Bailey is as a college quarterback, and how much ground he has to gain to win the starting job.
You at least would have gotten to see him against somebody.
Right. Yep.
Even a scrimmage. Fireball said he's tougher. He is tough. We know. But he's not going to win us a natty. I also agree with that.
Yeah, and that's true. Like, he's not going to drive down the field and win you a football game. He's just not.
Can Harrison Bailey?
He might. Give him a chance. He's a winner.
He's a winner. He is. He's won a lot in his life. That's the good news.
And there's a reason why he was ranked the number 30 player in the country and a 5-star quarterback by our rivals.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
Yep, absolutely.
To win in the state of Georgia at the highest classification, you have to be a great quarterback. And I think it was Marietta's first state championship in 70 years.
70?
50, 70, something. It was a long time.
Like, what was his name? Dang it. I wish I could have said it off my head. Now I lost it. Herman Boone and what was those guys were coaching? Golly, that's going to frustrate me. We blitz all night. I don't remember his name. It's not very memorable. Made it in the Virginia Football Hall of Fame, sure. Yeah. But I can't remember your name. You're nothing.
Did he end up making it?
I thought he did. I thought that was part of the story.
Like, okay, yeah, that's right. Hayden Panettiere was his daughter.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to have to look it up now.
And Ryan Gosling was a liability at quarterback.
That is one of my favorite memes. Like, yeah, girls can think all they want about Ryan Gosling, but the fact is he was an absolute liability at safety. Bill Yost. Yost! What is he? Oh, he's like, you're never going to be the guy that yells at him about never being in the Hall of Fame. Because that's a good movie.
It is a great movie. That's
one of the few movies. I was watching Shameless. I wasn't watching it. It was on. I was watching it. I'm sorry. I think it jumped the shark a long time ago.
It was a great show.
It was good. But there's like, have you seen like the newest seasons where like there's a lot of basketball in them?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would TV shows and movies not just hire one person to come in and be like, hey, does it look like we're playing basketball correctly? And they could go, no, it doesn't look like it at all.
Yeah.
Like some of these movies, some of the movies are, especially football, most of the time they do a really good job, especially if they're geared for football. But then you get like All-American.
Terrible.
You couldn't find anybody to bring in and be like, is this how you throw a football? Because we don't really know.
There's one show, and it's the guy's like the quarterback, and he's like throwing, and he like cocks his arm back.
It's
I forget what it's called.
It's some like teen drama.
Yeah.
From like the early 2000s.
It's
He's like
awful. Yeah,
he's like gets way back here, and you couldn't find anybody, not one person.
Like how hard
blows
is
my
it to
mind.
find a decent looking person that can throw?
It's not even that. Just have one person teach them how to like. This is
Hold
how
it.
you. This is how it looks on a football field.
Mm-hmm.
Or go watch one football game. One.
Yeah.
Get a good idea of, but one basketball game. It blows my mind how many.
Yeah, do some character research, man.
Exactly. Character research. What do we got next? That's position preview. Oh, how could I forget?
So who's your starter week 1?
JG.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. I'm really not. I just. It's
You just want more from him.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because, like I said at the beginning of this position preview, it sucks to have a question mark when you're talking about a fifth-year guy who's been a 4-year starter, and then you have a 5-star coming in. It's like, this shouldn't be a question. Somebody go win games. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they end up putting freaking Jimmy Holiday back there and winning games.
I think he'll have a package.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
You'd be dumb not to.
Right. Jimmy the Jet.
I know you're listening. Make a Jimmy Holiday package.
Yep. Do it. So, I just think it's the good thing about Harrison Bailey is like no one has won the job.
No.
Like no one last year solidified it enough to where like that's your starter. You know, you'll have to sit this year. No.
No,
you should have an opportunity to go win the job.
I don't think it's.
But I do think it's between them two.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like day one. Like I don't think it's going in like you got. I don't think it's Harrison Bailey go beat out JG. I think it's a competition.
Yeah, I agree.
How could it be JG?
Especially with like Josh Palmer is like the only really returning receiver.
Yep.
And you could argue Ramel Keaton, but he played with Harrison Bailey all through high school. So
true. Good point. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see who rolls out there for the Florida game. I'm just hoping. I'm trying to speak it into existence.
Oh, the Florida game?
Yeah. Because you don't get to go play Charlotte first, whoever that quarterback is. That's probably why I feel like I'm leaning more towards JG. If it was somebody else, excuse me, if it was a another team you're playing week 1, maybe.
One thing about Brian Maurer, he has to do better at decision making. I just looked it up. He had 5 interceptions with 75 attempts. That's bad.
How many touchdowns did he have? Not many. That ratio can't be great.
2.
Yeah.
Against Georgia.
They were both against Georgia?
Yep.
He had a couple rushing at least, 2 or 3.
He had 2. One against Alabama and one against UTC.
Nice. Well, 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
We'll see with Maurer. I don't know. Maybe he comes along.
He was 5 for 7. 71%, 62 yards against Alabama.
In one drive? He just played one drive?
I don't know if it was one drive, but he came out of the game. Did he throw a pick? He did throw a pick.
He got injured in that game, too. Did he?
I don't remember.
I thought
he was injured a lot.
He was injured a lot. I thought he got banged up against Alabama.
How many attempts? So JG had 257 attempts, and he threw 8 interceptions.
Yeah, so Brian Maurer left the game with a minute left in the first quarter against Alabama. I thought he got injured. Because I remember which I realize he is no Tua Tagovailoa. Right. But I remember an article that night, it was like Alabama loses their starting quarterback. I was like, well, technically Tennessee did too. If we're going to be true to the story.
Right.
And then freaking Batuli got ejected. That pisses me off to this day. That ejection. If the dude didn't lay there like he died, I guarantee it doesn't get. Because they reviewed the play. They didn't even throw a flag originally.
You're right.
It went to review the spot, and they end up ejecting him for targeting.
It's so dumb. Also,
if they don't, I don't know. God, the SEC so much. SEC officials are buffoons. They're
terrible.
buffoons. All of them. And I don't. It's the. Oh, there's some good ones. No, until you prove to me that you're all good, you're all bad. Period.
True.
Because like, how does that stuff not get? How is that allowed? How can you watch? Because you can watch the Daniel Batui play and say that there was helmet-to-helmet contact. Mm-hmm. But if you are not confident enough on the field to think it's targeting, I don't think you should be allowed to throw it.
You want to hear an awful stat?
Yeah, sure. What?
So how many rushing touchdowns do you think Garantano had last year before the Alabama game?
0.
So, like, again, why do you think that's a good idea to jump over the top? You don't have a single rushing touchdown?
Isn't that so out of character for him, though? Like, a lot of people are like, he wanted to be the man. It's like, he's never shown anything that he wanted to be the man ever.
Right, yeah.
Like, how out of character, if that's why. But regardless, has he ever done anything like that before that point?
It's true.
What happened? Those lights in Bryant Denny flip a switch in him or something?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Like, Mississippi State, he was 6 for 7, 1 touchdown, 106 yards.
He played
Kentucky,
good against Mississippi State.
7 for 8, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, dude, like the dude he had 6 attempts and 30 yards rushing against Kentucky.
He just needs to adopt the game manager role and do it. Yeah. You're not going to be a hero. You don't have the arm to be a hero.
Be AJ McCarron.
Yeah, you don't have the arm to be a hero. Don't try it.
Yep.
No reason to.
You got plenty of athletes to utilize. Just utilize them. That wall in front of you is going to protect you. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The who's about to? It's about to bring up something about Maurer. Maybe not about Maurer. You threw me off. I blame you. Oh, back to the Batuli targeting thing real quick. In the Oregon bowl game, maybe Pac-12 championship, they had a very similar play where he was gonna hit him low, but at the last minute the receiver gets low to either try to dive to make an attempt to go farther or just to brace for impact. And he tried to hit him low. Same thing Daniel Batuli did. He would have had him around the waist had he not fallen. And they called targeting on the field, go back and review it, and declare that it was like the identical play. I can't remember that white safety for Oregon was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, but no, I don't know.
You don't remember that play?
Yeah.
And it's just like, how is there so much, like it was an identical play. It wasn't, I could see where those identical play. Same set of rules, and you have two opposite outcomes.
My thing is, if you go low and you're already at your place to make contact and somebody else comes in and makes contact with your head, that's not targeting. I'm sorry.
Well, in the NFL now, the running back will be fined for ducking his head.
How often does that happen? Has that happened a lot?
I think there's enough that they wanted to try to correct the issue. Because what would have happened typically is they just would have said, all right, no targeting, player stays. Now they're trying to discourage the running back from lowering their helmet. And they're trying to discourage that by saying, we'll review those plays on Monday and fine you if you did it.
Well, the good thing about, like, for Titans fans is Derrick Henry's just going to grab that helmet and just throw it into the dirt. So
he's not going to go helmet to helmet. You also can't really. He's like, what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
It's pretty tough to go helmet to helmet.
Right. Yeah. You're going to have to launch upward.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you can't find college players. I don't know how you do that with running backs and ball carriers.
Ooh, so what if they start getting paid? Then can you find them?
Yeah, you can start finding them. Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing college football players don't want to find out is all those guys that are late for meetings, if you're getting paid, you get fined.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We got to talk about tomorrow, though. Practice starts.
Yeah.
What about that?
Hopefully we get some news on Cade May soon.
That's a good point. Nice. That's a good point. Do you think, is he on the wheel that they spin tomorrow to decide? Like Wheel of Fortune. Not Wheel of Fortune. There's not really a wheel. There is a wheel in Wheel of Fortune. More like Price is Right. Is he on that wheel?
I'm thinking of like a pie chart, and like his should be massive.
Okay, but because
like if I'm the NCAA, I'm like, man, we've made Tennessee fans wait a lot for this. We should make his a little bigger.
I don't know, man. I just I think he gets eligible. How does he not?
Right. Also, if you're a Tennessee fan and don't think you're going to get screwed out of the schedule tomorrow,
you open with Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and then you get a bye week, then Arkansas, and then you play A&M, Auburn is now away. And you play them the next week. And then, hey, good news, you finish off with Kentucky, Missouri, and Vandy. So that's good.
You get a bye week before Vandy.
Oh man,
Yeah, just be prepared. Wear your jock strap tomorrow because I'm feeling a kick in the nuts.
Yeah. A to Z Sports wrote why Cade Mays may never play a down for Tennessee. It may have something to do with he's probably going pro after this year, regardless of whether he plays or not. So I don't know. We'll see. That would be a nice. You got a month. That's the good news. You got a month now instead of 15 days.
Well, the good thing is you can just if they deny you can just say you opted out.
I've already opted out for this season.
Yeah.
I'm done. Just play him. What are they going to do? Take away the national championship? There's not going to be one.
I mean, really though.
I love how people are shocked. I mean, I figured the NCAA was going to cancel their championships, which is fine. Whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah. So tomorrow. So, any other stories you might position battles you might
the quarterback one's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see who emerges as on the offense side of the ball. Who's the number one running back? And do they kind of adopt the same style as they did last year of just ride the hot hand? Or is there going to be a go-to guy? I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was running back by committee because they wanted it to be, or if it was running back by committee because no one really won the job.
That's a good point. Dude, in my opinion, I was like, if you're going with the hot hand, go with the hot hand. That's still hot.
Yeah, it seemed like they would go away from that at times.
Yeah. I
don't know. We'll see. I think you have to look for a number one back because that's part of running the ball really well is having that guy you can go to. And I'm not saying if Eric Gray's the number one back and Todd Chandler's having a great game, you don't give him the majority of the carries. I'm not saying that. But I think it's going into a game and knowing who your number one back is that day is rather than going, man, I hope Todd Chandler brought it or I hope Eric Gray brought it today.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more confident when you go, yeah, he's our guy. He's going to get the first handoff. We'll see about second, third, fourth.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great problem for Tennessee is if Todd Chandler is your number two back, man, what a great number two back.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, my one would be interesting is the wide receiver.
Josh Palmer after that.
Yeah, it's Velus Jones Jr., you got D'Angelo Gibbs, and then you got some freshmen, some talented freshmen. You have Brandon Johnson, who's been here for 5 years.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who emerges. Did you know Brandon Johnson scored a touchdown last year?
I don't think I did. I was trying to think. I couldn't tell you what game. Hold on, I'm gonna try. Was it? Well, tell me this. Was it against Cupcake Opponent or?
It was SEC game.
Probably wasn't Missouri, just because I feel like those guys probably had to score. The guys that had the most catches: Palmer, Jennings, and Callaway. So probably not Vanderbilt. We didn't throw the ball a lot. I think all of our touchdowns were rushing against Vanderbilt. Kentucky, I think, was a rushing touchdown and a Palmer touchdown. Man. It wasn't Georgia, was it? Who had the 2 touchdowns against Georgia?
Callaway had 1.
And then was the other one rushing?
Possibly. I don't know.
So it wasn't Georgia. I don't know. Who was it?
It was Mississippi State.
Really? Okay.
Tyler Bird.
I knew Tyler Bird had 1.
He blocked a punt. Tyler Bird did.
And Brandon Johnson scored.
Picked it up and scored.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dang. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so
getting in on the action, huh?
Yeah, on the year you redshirt, you actually scored a touchdown. So yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting guys to see. I think it's good that you have. It seems like you have a ton of talent there. It's just who's gonna emerge in fall camp or OTAs, whatever this is. So they're not gonna be in pads probably until next week.
Yeah, they'll be in acclimation period. So it'll be at least 5 days. Yeah. So I guess if they go 5 days this week, it could be Friday.
Yeah.
In full pads.
Which if they're wanting to break everything up, it's probably Monday. I would guess that they do pads.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we see it soon though. It's going to be another kind of situation I'm interested about to see. You won't really know until you get a depth chart. Is linebacker. You don't know who the starters are going to be. So you're not going to know about that until
like outside linebacker or inside linebacker.
just who's on that besides Toto and probably Crouch. Who else is going to be there? So outside linebacker.
Jeremy Banks.
We'll see. Do we see a video of him tomorrow? Because they haven't announced it. Does it get announced tomorrow?
I know that they're telling him not to release anything. Like, no,
it's got to get announced tomorrow, though. You're practicing.
But he was there for picture day. He has like all the players have been tweeting out their pictures, and two people who haven't released their pictures is Bryce Thompson.
Just because of the number, you think?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, it's got to be why.
And Jeremy Banks.
But he released a picture of his jersey.
Yeah, but it wasn't him in it.
Right. I don't know. They've got to. I mean, you've got to announce it tomorrow because you're gonna have picture. You're gonna leak them, so you need to address it.
Right.
And I think they need to address it because otherwise it looks sketchy if you don't. So I think you need to address it.
He's there, which will be interesting. Like, what do we find out about prices? Because the media is not allowed. So what do you actually?
Right, but I mean, you would see videos.
Yeah. Something's gonna get released, but I'm just saying it's gonna be interesting through this whole camp and practices because you're not gonna get the media there to this guy was practicing here, this guy was practicing there.
Right. Is Pruitt meeting with the media tomorrow? Like they usually would on the first day?
I think so.
Okay. I'm kind of wondering if they'll maybe wait till they may not do it Tuesday. But I thought maybe since you're going to find out the schedule, maybe wait till Tuesday.
I can't wait to see some posts about Jeremy Pruitt like this in Zoom, just holding it out far from his face.
Well, who was it? What show did he go on? They're like, you don't have any Tennessee gear?
Oh, well, Dan Patrick show.
Is it Dan Patrick? Yeah, he has Tennessee gear. It is funny that his office is completely empty.
Yeah,
it's kind of creepy. Is he a psychopath? It might be. What was I was gonna say something about what about apparently the rumor about some SEC coaches getting upset about the schedule? At least 5 is what was said.
Arkansas is number 1. They were definitely the one
they have a right to be.
Right. It definitely wasn't Ole Miss because they drew a great draw. Texas A&M probably could be mad. Florida and Tennessee, that's a bad draw.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Tennessee feels about it, and I don't know. I mean, you're not necessarily asking for the easiest schedule, but you want a schedule that's favorable.
Right.
And I wouldn't call getting Auburn and A&M, especially after playing Auburn 2 years ago, Auburn and A&M favorable.
And you have to play Alabama.
And you have to play Alabama.
Right.
I don't know. I'd be interested to see who it was that was. I mean, I'm gonna guess Vandy and Arkansas, but to be fair, if I'm Greg Sankey and Vandy or Arkansas speak up, I'm like, who would you rather play? You are gonna get beat. You want to just roll the dice, see who you lose to next?
Right. Yeah, that's my. Yeah, you knew you were gonna lose.
So it's like draw Alabama. Who gives it? We'll tell them to beat you by 7 less than they would have. I don't know. You were gonna lose.
Yeah, but if I'm the SEC, do you not want to make the games more competitive? Like, if TV is your only revenue, would you not want to make some of those games more competitive?
You would think so.
I don't know. I don't understand it.
I wonder how they're going to fit every game. They'll only have 2 sources right now. You can't assume you're always going to get the SEC slot.
Or maybe those other...
Yeah, well, I guess you have 3 because you have the SEC alternate.
What about those other networks? Do they come knocking?
See, but I don't think we'll see if I guess for the right price, ESPN will release some of those games, but we'll see.
Yeah, be interesting.
You got a most important?
I do. Alex Smith, he's back, baby. Number 11 is back. After 2 years, what many thought was a career-ending injury, he is back and clear to return to football activities today.
Yeah. That was mine, Alex Smith.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, you're good. Did you here? I'll read off kind of what he's had to go through in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He broke the tibia and fibula in his right leg in November of 2018. There were fears that he could lose his leg. It was so bad. Tibia and fibula, if you don't know, are the 2 bones that run all the way down your leg. you definitely don't want to break both of them. He had 17 surgeries because of an infection, and he said he was going to still play, which is pretty incredible. And then on Saturday, he announced that he had been cleared for football, which is wild. I think he had spent a lot of time like in ICU. It was that bad.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, props to him getting back. That's another quarterback competition that will be interesting to see in the NFL with Dwayne Haskins, and
they don't like Dwayne Haskins though. So
no, I think they
Alex
just
Smith
had to get him by default.
Well, like when he got drafted, the coaching staff was like, "We didn't want him. It was the front office that wanted him." Yeah.
Oh, because he's from there. That's why. Yeah.
You got any more?
Oh yeah, Tennessee Smokies. Randy Boyd,
Dude,
makes the first pitch to downtown Knoxville.
It looked. I hope that rendering looks gorgeous.
It looks awesome.
I mean, I've been hoping for this for a long time, so I hope it happens. I think it'd be great for Knoxville. I mean, there's so much more to do in Sevierville. The tourists aren't going to come down from Sevierville to go to the game in Knoxville, but the Sevierville people who went to the game are still going to go.
Yeah.
And then add in Knoxville, and the Knoxville experience will be better. You're going to have more restaurants than Cracker Barrel, McDonald's, and Chop House. Mm-hmm. You're going to have restaurants and bars to go to before and after the game.
There's Taco Bell there too.
Oh, sorry. The Taco Bell as well. You're going to have bars before and after the game. Look at how well the Ice Bears do and what the Ice Bears games do for the nightlife in Knoxville. Add in summer nights where the nights are longer and warmer, and it's going to be a great experience.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think it could be used for a lot of different things, not just baseball.
Yeah, they already said it. The outfield will be fitted to accommodate a soccer field.
Okay, well that'd be cool. I was thinking more of like concerts,
and that I'm sure it'll be retrofitted as well to do that. The Smokies usually do. I think they've had one concert up there without a baseball game, but they usually do they'll have a night where they have a concert after the game.
Yeah, I just think it's really cool with all the older buildings and stuff down there. I think it'd be a great venue. A lot of people were mentioning Tennessee baseball moving over there.
I wouldn't want to see them move, but
play a couple of games there.
They were supposed to have that. Was it the TriStar Classic at Smoky Stadium? That would be a fantastic place to hold it.
Oh yeah,
and for bringing in ETSU, MTSU, Vanderbilt. I don't know who I can't remember who I was gonna play in it. A bunch of Tennessee teams. That'd be a fantastic place to hold games like that.
Yeah.
So I think
I think it would be.
I think there's something special to having an on-campus stadium. I think they need to do more with it. I know it's not in a great spot with the railroad yards right there, but you can do stuff around it that makes it look better. And the stadium just probably needs a facelift in general.
I mean, look at Sevier Avenue. What, 5-6 years ago? Or not? Maybe
2
not
years
that.
ago.
Yeah, I mean it was crap.
Yeah.
I was told not to ever go down there.
Right.
But now it's one of the nicer places in Knoxville. So it definitely needs a facelift, but I think something like that would be great for it. But I'm thinking more like Tennessee baseball. Like they want to compete, with facilities and everything like that, and it's difficult because they're right there in like an industrial park.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much they can do with that. I wouldn't mind them moving. I just think it kind of takes away a little bit from being like off campus.
Yeah, and the good news is that stadium is a 10-minute walk from campus.
Right.
So that'd be good. It wouldn't be a drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
But you have already started to show you're going to dedicate a lot of money to, you started with the turf field, which is a small, but maybe not small. I don't know. I mean, you at least made your baseball program better for it.
Yeah.
So maybe you didn't necessarily do a ton for the stadium, but you did a lot for the program, which will, hopefully means you're going to make some investments for the stadium and program as a whole in the future. Yeah, I just think having an on-campus stadium's good. I'm glad, Neyland's on campus. I think there's something to it when you're talking about a college football environment, college environment in general. Same thing for TBA. I wouldn't hate, if the stadium's nice and they want something to move they want to make, I wouldn't hate it. I think it'd be. It looks like it's gonna be really nice. It looks like the environment's gonna be. They're gonna try really, really hard to make the environment special, and I think that could benefit whoever decides to occupy it. I'm hoping maybe that means Randy Boyd might go try to get him a soccer team.
Hey,
He's retrofitting the stadium for soccer. Are you done with all most important?
yeah, go ahead.
So I don't know if this is most important or fail. I view it as both. But the UMass coach, when he was asked about the season ending, he said, my dad passed away in 2008. My biological mom OD'd in 2012. And to be honest with you, this is probably a tougher day than both of those.
Oh, read it one more time.
This is about college football.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Jesus, man. What a quote.
I'm like, I feel you, but maybe don't say that out loud. I love it. Dedicated to football.
Football guy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then I've got a Dan Wolken quote, of course, or tweet. Excuse me.
Is this the most important?
No, this is a fail.
I was about to say, geez.
He said, it's quite amusing how the shut up it isn't possible to play in spring chorus is largely the same group of people who say you're rooting against sports. I told you back, I was like, dude, you have been covering college football, college athletics for how long? And you don't understand logistically how it's not possible to play in the spring. It's not about athletes safe, it's not about that. It's just logistically speaking, it's not possible to play in the spring. I gave it to you, March Madness. They're not going to cancel another March Madness. And you're not going to generate enough money to justify it between both of them. March Madness in TV rights alone brought in $800 million in 2019.
Yeah, and those guys that have NFL draft aspirations are gone. They're not playing. So
no. It's not logistically possible. It has nothing to do with the people that are saying you don't want a football season are saying that because most of the time people like Dan Wolken only cover the negative aspects of what's going on in the world, not the positive.
Yep.
Like a positive, non-Oklahoma players have it. That's obviously a negative. But a positive behind that is they were able to contact trace them back. None of them got it within the program. They all got it outside the program. And then they believe that they didn't expose anybody else to it. It's a positive. Like they handled that situation correctly, unlike somewhere like Rutgers, which you all covered plenty. So that's what they mean when they're like, you don't want football because you only cover the negative aspects of it.
Yep.
And I'm not saying you shouldn't cover the negative aspects of it, but you should cover all of it.
Right. And you're not talking to everybody.
No.
If there's a negative article, but the negativity spreads.
Right.
And, that I feel like that's a big reason why, I feel like those two conferences canceled because there was so much negativity toward everything from media to cases and everything like that they just like, it's not worth it.
And the more every day, the more and more I think about it, I think it's more about the demands that were being made, not COVID.
Yep.
Who tweeted that article about you that said it's not about COVID, it's about unionization of college football players? Whoever tweeted at you, that article is spot on. I believe that's true because I think you tweeted it. The two conferences that canceled are the ones who had players making demands. Yeah. The SEC, ACC, Big 12 has not had that.
Right.
And they haven't even thought about it yet.
Yep. I don't know. Conspiracy. Also I have one more most important. So Justin Fields has created a campaign to have the Big Ten football immediately reinstated, which has over 8,000 signatures already.
Yeah, sorry, Justin, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I agree. I mean, I think it sucks for the athletes. I really do.
It does, man.
Conferences don't. Because then you're like, if I would have stayed at Georgia.
Yeah.
And just
toughed it out one more year.
And then
it probably worked out for him, though.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
It probably worked out for him. But it like you're right, though. It does suck. Yeah. It absolutely sucks.
So, fail. I have Seahawks rookie cornerback Kamal Sivrand.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He was cut after he was caught on video trying to sneak a woman into the team hotel. The woman was wearing Seahawks gear to disguise herself as a player.
That is awesome. How did I not see that? That is amazing. First off, rookie, you got to be a veteran to do that.
Right.
You don't think LeBron James has
what I'm
plenty
thinking
of girls
is
on speed
somebody
dial?
Told him to do that.
Oh, you don't think it was for him?
rookie duties. Hey, go pick up this girl, put her in this stuff, and bring her back.
Okay.
Because like it doesn't really make sense. If you're out, why don't you just stay out and do your thing? If you know she's not allowed,
I've seen dumber. Like,
that's true.
Oh God, who was it? I was about to ask you: is this situation better or worse than the dude who got caught? The Ravens guy. Who was it?
Got caught.
Was it? Got caught with his brother having a threesome.
Oh, Earl Thomas.
Was it Earl Thomas? Yeah. Got caught having a threesome with his brother by his wife because he doesn't know how to turn off his location.
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I can't.
People are dumb, man.
Underestimate.
That's a fantastic. I'm so disappointed that I missed that. That's a fantastic story.
I was like,
thank you for sharing that with me.
I was like, first of all, like, if somebody was actually gonna believe that was a Seahawks player, like, how
is
big
there a picture?
How big was this woman?
Did you have a picture of her?
No, it wasn't.
Dang.
Like,
I would love to see.
yeah,
like did she have like her hoodie up? Like,
yeah, how big is this woman?
Hoodie Mel.
Like
linebacker.
Really, yeah, NFL players like.
That's probably how they caught him. They're like, why is he walking in with a kicker?
Yeah.
Go investigate that. That's weird.
I don't even know who their kicker is. I was about to say Hauschka, but I don't even think it's Hauschka.
I don't know who it is. I don't have a clue. I don't have anything else, man.
I have one more. So
Please.
Draymond Green got fined $50,000 for tampering while on TV. He was saying that Damian Lillard needed to leave the Blazers. They did it as tampering because they thought he was recruiting him to Golden State. But
was he like, what a stupid...
Yeah, I agree, but it's stupid on Draymond Green because why would you say that when they made it into the playoffs?
Right.
And Golden State is the worst team in the NBA right now.
So he got caught... Is he in the bubble?
No.
So he got caught on TV where?
He was on a TV show, and they were talking to him.
Oh, he wasn't even talking to Damian Lillard?
No.
What the...
Yeah.
The NBA is the dumbest organization I've ever...
$50,000.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Good Lord. That makes me mad. I'm not even a fan of Draymond Green. That pisses me off. Oh, man.
Oh, did you see Pac-Man Jones burning the Joe Hayden jerseys?
Why?
So apparently they don't like each other. Joe Hayden played for the Browns. He played for the Bengals. Well, somebody sent a big box of Joe Hayden jerseys to Pac-Man Jones, and so he's just like out in his driveway just burning them.
Okay, that's funny. That is funny. Oh. What about when Butch Jones had Pac-Man Jones come and talk to the Tennessee team about character?
God bless America.
Man, it's so dumb.
I forgot about that.
That man is the dumbest human being I've ever heard of.
Oh, props to Damian Lillard too. He's freaking
dude. Didn't he have 40 points the other night in a game?
Yeah. So his 3 games before the Memphis game, he had 51, 61, and 42. It's 154 points total in those 3 games. It's the most by any player in their final 3 games of the season.
Dang.
Yeah, it's wild. They beat Memphis. Dang, sucks. I kind of wanted Memphis to get in. That'd have been cool. But what about Devin Booker and the Suns go 8-0 in the bubble and miss out by half a game?
That sucks.
Yeah, like they needed the Grizzlies or the Trailblazers to lose, and I think they got into that play-in game, and they both won. 8-0 in the bubble, and you still don't get 8-0 in the bubble, and you still don't get in. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that's why. I mean,
so
the regular season.
That's crazy that like, you were even. That's wild that you can go undefeated and
they
not
had
make the
like
playoff.
a 98% chance to not make the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they were like a game away from doing it. Yeah.
Well, sucks for them.
Got to win more games. That's all I got.
That's it for me too.
Guys, go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House and Hound Dogs. If you haven't already, they do a great job of making this show possible. So go do that. That's kind of all I got. We got some stuff in the works.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
We are gonna be doing some type of tailgating too, and As long as you don't have COVID, we'd love for you to come and join us.
That's all we got. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.